Starting out with coffee, because coffee is life for me, I'm going in with the Arbonne primer. This one reminds me a lot of the Smashbox Photo Finish primer, like the original one. It's got that same dimethicone feel. Then going in with the Sephora Tint Infusion Foundation. You guys know this is one of my favorites. I start by dotting it all over my face, and then I go in with my favorite brush for foundation, this Bestope, still don't know how to pronounce it, and I buff that into my skin. Next, I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape. I have mixed feelings about this. I love this product for the coverage, but I feel like it's a little bit heavy for me for everyday wear. But on days when I want to feel a little extra glam, I will use this, but I just can't use it all the time. I also think I have the wrong color. I think I need to get it just a little bit darker. It looks a little light to me, but it's a great concealer, especially when you want the boom glam look, because it really does cover everything up, every dark circle, anything like that. It doesn't settle into fine lines. It blends really easily, but it's just a little heavy for me to do every day. Now I'm going in with the e.l.f. translucent powder, and I'm going to use this to set and bake underneath my eyes. On days where I want to look a little extra glam and flawless, this is the step I will take. Now I'm going in with the e.l.f. contour kit. It is an e.l.f. day. And I'm going to use the bronze shade just to add a little bit more color back to the face. Once you have your foundation and concealer on, you can definitely look washed out, which is something that nobody wants to do. So going in with the bronzer, I'm going to take it on a big fluffy brush and just kind of brush it on the perimeter of the face just to warm up the face a little bit and give yourself that sun-kissed look. I love doing this. I'm not a big fan of contouring. Maybe I just don't do it right. If I learned how to do it properly, maybe that's the key. Now I'm going in with the Cargo HD Picture Perfect highlighter. This is in the shade bronze. It's a nice kind of pinky bronze color. I didn't want to go with anything too frosty or too like vanilla, because especially with what I'm going for today, I wanted something a little bit more on the bronze side. So I'm going to put this on the cheekbones, on the nose, on the cupid's bow, a little on the chin, and then on the forehead, just to kind of give myself that all over glow. I am taking the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. I told you guys it was an e.l.f. day, and I start by brushing through my brows just to see how they look that day. Sometimes they look nice and I don't have to do anything. Other days it's a train wreck and it takes a lot more work. Today they weren't bad, and so I'm just filling in a little bit of the sparse areas. So right at the start of the brow, I've got a couple spots in the brows that need a little bit of help, but I go in and I make little brush strokes with the pencil, and then I'll go through it with the spoolie just to blend it out and make sure it's not too harsh, because nobody wants to see like big brush strokes through your brows. And then I will kind of go through the rest of the brow, and if there's any sparse areas or places that are a little bit thinner than others, then I will go in and kind of zhuzh them up a little bit more. Then I'm going in with the brow gel. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. And then I'm wiping off the excess. When you pull this out of the tube, you do get a lot of product on the spoolie brush, and so you want to make sure to brush that off first so that you don't get a big clump or glob here and there. And I am just lightly kind of combing through my brows just to set them in place so that love that face. I'm next going in with the Smashbox Lid Primer. I found this when I was organizing my collection, and I figured I would try it again. I've been trying to declutter some stuff and kind of organize this little space that I have, and so I figured I would give this a shot again, and I think I have fallen right back in love with it, because this is holding my eyeshadow, makes everything go on so smoothly. It doesn't skip, doesn't do anything like that, and so I've been enjoying using this today. I'm going in with the Morphe palette. Sorry guys, I know it's a palette that I use all the time, but I really do use this palette every day. I am taking just a light transition shade just to set that primer and kind of buff into the crease and transition area so that the next eyeshadows we go in with don't have a hard time blending out or become patchy or stick to anywhere. And so I've been really enjoying doing this. And with a palette that has 35 colors in it, why not add more and more? Sometimes more is more. Next, I'm taking a little bit of a darker color, but kind of in the same tone or family. And I'm going to put that a little bit lower, a little more concentrated in the crease. I'm still using a big fluffy brush just to help feather it out and blend it in with the first transition color we went in with. I really like doing this. I have hooded eyes, and so this really helps define the crease a little bit for me and make my eyes appear a little bit more open, which I'm not against at all. So I'm just buffing that in. When I have less product on the brush, I will bring it towards the inner corner, but I don't want a heavy amount of pigment on the inner corner for today's look. I want it to be kind of soft and blown out. And here I am deciding which color I'm going to use next, because clearly this was just a kind of spur of the moment tutorial. And I'm going to go in with this kind of, for lack of a better word, pukey kind of brown color. This is the only color in this palette that I have not used, and I've had this palette for so long, so I figured today I would try it out. And I really love it. It adds a nice warmth to the look without being like, boom, straight red or straight orange. And I really like how it turned out. Plus, it's a little bit darker, so it adds a lot of dimension to my eyes without being too overbearing, which I am okay with, because like I said, when you have 35 shadows to choose from, I love to mix and match and blend all of different combinations with them. Let's see how I can do without dropping and hitting myself in the face. So next I'm gonna go in with, this darker one. And this one is significantly darker than the ones that we have been using. And so I switched out my brush, and I am using a more dense, defined brush so I can place this right in the outer corner, which is where I want it. I want that kind of more definition out there. Kind of elongates the eyes, if you will. And I use that brush just to place the pigment where I want it. And then I will go back in with that first big blending brush just to buff everything together so there's no harsh lines and that there's no definitive line between the dark colors and the transition shades that we had just gone on with. And then next I will go in with this one, which I'm very sad about. I hit pan on this. Clearly it is one of my favorite colors to use from this palette. And this one is darker yet, and so I will place that kind of over the same dark color we just did. But again, I feel like it adds dimension to your eyes and it gives it another layer of dimension. Again, for lack of better words. Oh, I cannot talk today. So I'm going back with that big fluffy brush and blending and making sure all the edges are smooth and blended out and there's no harsh lines, nothing like that. You guys know the drill. And now I am deciding which shimmer to put on my lid. So I'm going to go in with the Maybelline City Mini palette, and there is this gorgeous shimmery sparkly glitter color that I have been dying over. I've used this so much, and I will just take that on my finger and I will pat it on my eyelids, but I will not go all the way. I usually do about the first half from the inner corner to about halfway across. That way it adds a little bit more definition to dimension to the eyes, and it's not like boom, frosty, shimmery. It's kind of a nice subtle hint of color. And now I am brushing off that bake. Anything that's left over on the brush, I will kind of dust it around the rest of the face so that it sets everything else in place where that bronzer wasn't to set it. And now I am curling my lashes. You guys know the drill. Everybody has a lash curler. Everybody knows how to curl their lashes. My lash curler is from Sephora. I don't think I will ever use a different one. And now I wanted a little pop of color, so I'm going in with the Arbonne eyeliner. This is another thing that one of my coworkers gave me. And this is in the shade Purple. I don't know the exact name. I will have it linked down below for you guys. But I am just going to run this along my upper lash line just to add a little bit of pop of color. I usually use black, and I usually don't use kohl eyeliner pencils. I usually am one to go with liquid or a gel just because I think it's easier to get a more crisp line and to do a wing look. But today I kind of wanted something a little bit more smudgy and easy to work with. Then I'm going in with my Marc Jacobs mascara. This has been such a good little sample. The brush is huge, which I love, and it gives your eyelashes some definition, but it doesn't leave them clumpy or weird looking, which I am a fan of. So I usually start where I wiggle and tease kind of at the base of the lashes, and then I brush through and I blink it through as well. That way it kind of spreads the product out and it lengthens the eyelashes, but also defines them as well. And I usually do a couple coats on each side of, or each eye. And then I will go in with my Tarteist liquid lipstick. I do not know the name of this. Again, I will have it linked down below. But this is the final step. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.